ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
New details about service members presumed dead off Southern California. People across the country are coming to the help of 8 families in mourning, and words about the training accident from the president just moments ago. The first schools in San Diego County launched the new year online. How virtual learning is affecting families and teachers. Plus,
if you get infected, you are propagating the pandemic's evolution.
a stern warning from Dr. Anthony Fauci to young people in San Diego and when he thinks we'll have a vaccine. We begin with new details about the 8 service members lost during a deadly military training accident. The youngest, just 18 years old. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm Kimberly Hunt. And families across the country are mourning their loved ones presumed dead off the coast of San Clemente Island. President Trump expressing his condolences within the last hour.
It's terrible, and we'll be in contact with the families. A thing like that is terrible.
10 News anchor Vanessa Van Hefty has the latest details on the investigation and how people across the country are helping the families say goodbye.
Lance Corporal Chase Sweetwood grew up in San Diego. He was among those killed in what was supposed to be a routine training exercise, a day before his 19th birthday. He enlisted in the Marines right out of high school, now a GoFundMe page in his honor, raising money to help his mother travel here from Portland to bury her son. Corporal Wesley Rod, a rifleman, just 23 years old and a new dad, a decorated Camp Pendleton Marine who grew up in Texas, pictured on a GoFundMe page that has raised roughly $30,000 for his wife.
We never thought that this would happen, but you know what? He told us months ago that if anything like this were to happen, this is what he signed up for.
The aunt of one of the 2 injured Marines who was rescued Thursday evening says her nephew Dallas was given CPR and saved from drowning by someone they haven't identified.
People have brought meals, they have called, they've texted, they literally sat with them and held their hand while they cried.
9 families mourning the loss of loved ones of those now presumed dead. 4 were from California, others from Wisconsin, Oregon, and Texas, all ages 18 to 23. Late Saturday night, military officials announced the rescue effort to find the missing 7 Marines and 1 sailor had ended, and a recovery mission was underway. The military fearing the young men died after their amphibious assault vehicle sank Thursday evening. A 1,000-nautical-mile search has been conducted, turning up empty. The search continues today. Vanessa Van Hefty, ABC 10 News.
Secretary of Defense Mark Esper issued a statement today that reads in part, "Their service, commitment, and courage will always be remembered. While the incident remains under investigation, I want to assure our service members we are committed to gathering all of the facts, understanding exactly how this occurred, and preventing similar tragedies in the future." San Diego County is beginning to see a downward trend in the number of coronavirus cases, hospitalizations, and deaths. County leaders say that our progress is encouraging as we head further into August.
We have a ways to go in terms of continuing to get our numbers down below the state metric that they've outlined for where they should be, and we know that we have to get there. But then we also have to figure out as a people how, when we get them down, we keep them low. And we keep them low in a way that allows as much as possible of our economy to be up and running. We keep them down in a way that allows us to really substantively start talking about how we can reopen schools safely.
Dr. Wilma Wooten said that any guidance on possibly loosening restrictions in our county has to come from Governor Newsom. That decision is not made by local jurisdictions. Today, there are 343 new cases of COVID-19 in San Diego County. That brings the total to 30,226. No new deaths reported on a Monday. The death toll remains at 565. Coronavirus vaccine trials are underway, but it is unlikely you'll be able to get one before next year. Team 10 investigator Adam Rakusin spoke one-on-one with the nation's top infectious disease expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, to talk about vaccines and what happens if people don't get one. Adam.
Yeah, Kim, a vaccine is coming. It's just going to take a little bit. A phase 3 clinical trial got started last week. Overall, it's going to involve around 30,000 people, about 15,000 people that are going to be getting that vaccine and 15,000 people that will be getting a placebo. Now, Dr. FAUCI says the first clinical trials are just getting underway. More will be happening in the coming months. It's going to be tested at dozens of clinical research sites in the United States. In an interview with ABC 10 News this morning, I asked Dr. FAUCI how long before there's a safe and effective vaccine.
Well, Adam, we're hoping that that's going to be as we get to the end of this calendar year, late fall, early winter. In the United States, 2 candidates have already started a phase 3 trial. They started last week on July 27th. Those are 2 platforms called mRNA. In the next few months, other companies will be getting into a phase 3 trial as we get towards the end of the summer, the beginning of the fall. We hope, and I think we can be cautiously optimistic about this, that we will have a safe and effective vaccine by the end of the year, beginning of 2021. There's never a guarantee, Adam, that you're going to have it. That's the reason why you do the trial.
And coming up on 10 News at 6, you're going to have more of our conversation with Dr. FAUCI. So when that vaccine does come around, who's going to be first in line? We talk about COVID-19 testing and the question on parents' minds, is it safe for students to go back to school? That's all coming up tonight on 10 News at 6. Reporting live from La Mesa tonight, Adam Rakusin, ABC 10 News.
We're in a new phase of the pandemic, according to the White House Coronavirus Task Force. Dr. Deborah Burke says most states are seeing a rise in infections every week, and the number of cases in the U.S. accounts for more than a quarter of cases worldwide.
We're seeing rises in a lot of states, and now we're talking about reopening schools and colleges in the midst of that, which I think is just going to compound our problem significantly.
The CDC predicts nearly 20,000 more COVID-related deaths by August 22nd. Now that's close to 1,000 deaths per day between now and then. Nursing home deaths account for about 40% of all COVID deaths in the United States. Eli Lilly is launching an antibody study for nursing homes. Monoclonal antibodies may offer protection while researchers develop a vaccine. Now, this type of therapy is given by infusion. It does not rely on blood donors. Instead, these antibodies are manufactured. In theory, they should be easier to produce in large quantities. Now, 3 companies are testing whether a drug from each of them can be repurposed and used for coronavirus protection. Now, the trial is taking a look at drugs at AbbVie, Amgen, and Takeda. Now, the first part of the trial will look at whether Amgen's psoriasis drug, Takeda's anti-inflammatory drug, and AbbVie's drug for HIV patients can help with immune response.
A gym owner in Oceanside says he is now in compliance with the county's public health order after refusing to close his doors for months. ABC 10 News reporter Mimi Alcala explains how Metroflex Gym is in the process of becoming an outdoor gym and shows us what it took to get there.
As you can see, with the outdoor fitness area.
Things are looking a little different at Metroflex Gym in Oceanside. Workouts will now be happening outdoors.
So a lot of people are taking advantage of the outdoor area.
This is the letter owner Lou Uredell received Friday from Dr. Wilma Wooten, the county's public health officer. The order was to immediately close, stating that Metroflex Gym was operating indoors in violation of state and county public health orders. Uredell moved some equipment outside onto the sidewalk and is now in the process of getting a permit from the city of Oceanside to expand and build a larger outdoor gym. He'll be closed until later this week while that happens, but he says some services will continue inside.
We have a nutrition supplement store. We have food pickup services.
Before Dr. Wooten's letter was sent, Oceanside police visited Uredell's gym to try to gain voluntary compliance. But he tells me he went above and beyond to ensure the safety of employees and members.
We hired virologists, and they said the biggest things were capacity, social distancing, and airflow. So that's what we focused on. And we have high quality disinfectant. We spent about $6,000 on an electromagnetic spray gun.
He says the gym was disinfected every hour. He purchased 6 large fans and left front and back doors open to circulate the air. Equipment was moved to allow for social distancing, and capacity was limited to 20%.
Well, I've had 38,100 visits since May 8th. We have 10 trainers here, and we've not had one outbreak.
Uredale says following the state's order at the beginning and closing down his gym would have resulted in losing the business he worked so hard to build.
You can't keep throwing us on life support and expect these to stay around.
Mimi Alcala, ABC 10 News.
Uredale was also cited back in May for refusing to shut down during the initial orders from the state. He is now in the process of submitting a revised COVID-19 reopening plan to the county. Another major setback in Major League Baseball, 7 St. Louis Cardinals players and 6 staff have tested positive for the virus in the past week. The Cardinals' 4-game series against Detroit has now been postponed. The Cardinals are staying in quarantine in Milwaukee. MLB hopes that they can resume their season August 7th. Last week, 21 players and staff on the Miami Marlins tested positive. Commissioner Rob Manfred warned that he may have to end the season altogether if coronavirus isn't managed better.